for us, our history, our long history and relationship with Kansas is more than just a building or two. It's here in the soil. This is sacred and holy ground.
In a small Johnson County town, this ground may hold a secret.
It is estimated that more than 40,000 children may be buried in unmarked graves at schools, at sites across the United States. Who were the children that resided here? What were their names? And what were their stories?
What happened to the children who attended what was once the Shawnee Indian Manual Labor Boarding School?
I'm just trying to imagine what it was like for those kids that slept up here.
If they're not going to talk to us about looking for our kids, I find that disrespectful and disingenuous to tell us that they're going to do this in full faith.
The chief quit communicating with me.
This is a Shawnee building. This was a place where they took our language, took our children, tried to stamp out our culture.
More than a century later, the chief of the Shawnee Tribe wants a deeper history of the Shawnee Indian Mission exposed.
Well, they brought in a guy named Thomas Johnson. Thomas Johnson was pro-slavery. Look at the Johnsons themselves and look at the wealth they generated. It was from the labor of children.
This is a place where we know our children were sent to exterminate our way of life. And as a people, we survived that.
Here we go. Great job.
But exposing the truth doesn't come easy.
So today we begin to get answers.
The Honorable Ben Barnes.
How many of them died? Where were they buried?
And controversy comes quick.
I was a Ben Barnes fan. So I may get emotional on it because I believed in the man.
I knew about that site way before he knew about that site.
Our name is on the building and it is the Shawnee Mission. That doesn't mean a whole lot. Nothing is ours. This land and true Mother Earth is shared by all.
The idea that we're just sitting by watching these buildings fall apart is just wholly untrue.
This is not the Shawnee's mission.
I'm Matt Fleener. For the past 2 years, KBC9 Chronicle has followed the intense debate over the future of this land. 12 acres in one of the wealthiest counties in the United States, Johnson County, Kansas. Thomas Johnson, a Methodist minister and a slaveholder, established this boarding school in 1839. Nearly 200 years later, there's a fresh desire to know if the school's indigenous children are buried on this ground, and what may have happened to those children under Johnson's leadership. But that search for what happened here has led to a strong divide between city, state, and tribal leaders and the chief of the Shawnee Tribe.
All right, so we're going to get started here. Our chief's going to take the first lead of the night here. So we're going to call him out here to get us started for the night here. So we're going to get started. We're going to get rolling. So, everybody dance. Everybody dance.
Chief Ben Barnes leads the Shawnee Tribe. These are some of his people. For generations, the Shawnee have maintained their identity as they moved across the country, now headquartered in Miami, Oklahoma. Their stomp dance is a traditional way to come together, even with other tribes, to pay tribute to those who were there before.
So bow your heads with me.
Prayer is another way. At this general council meeting of the Shawnee Tribe, Chief Barnes prayed for his people, also lifting a request for the tribe's youngest lost ancestors.
Our children, find them and take care of them. Good morning. Thank you all for being here on this day of remembrance.
1 year earlier, Chief Barnes stood before another crowd outside the Shawnee Indian Mission in Fairway. He called for a federal investigation to find grave sites of the Shawnee Tribe's young children on this land, along with any other indigenous children. Children who once called this manual labor boarding school home.
It's my moral obligation to search for these children, and if we find them, to honor them properly.
Chief Barnes spoke just months after people paid tribute at a mass grave of indigenous children at a Canadian boarding school. The remains of kids, some as young as 3 years old, were found in unmarked graves. Canada's Truth and Reconciliation Commission says kids were forced into schools brutally separated from families, and many were neglected and worse, physically and sexually abused. Many disappeared, their families never knowing what became of them.
We are sorry. It was something that we cannot undo in the past.
Canadian leaders apologized. The Catholic Church tried to repair its relationships with the relatives of those who attended the schools.
I humbly beg forgiveness for the evil committed by so many Christians against the indigenous peoples.
The archives telling the stories of the Shawnee boarding school and the Methodist mission do not say if children experienced abuse. Records show 10 indigenous children died during their time here, but records don't show where they're buried. The children are part of the complicated tale at this National Historic Landmark that began with Thomas Johnson, a missionary to the Shawnees. After a request for a missionary from Shawnee Tribe leader Pascal Fish, Johnson proposed a central school to serve many tribes. State records show it opened in 1839, teaching young children academics, manual labor, and agriculture. The manual labor portion ceased in 1854. It was a mission until 1862. Suburbia has enclosed the original 2,000-acre site Johnson and his other missionaries oversaw. 12 acres remain. 3 original buildings still stand, including one where Thomas Johnson and his family once lived. Johnson's gravesite sits in a small cemetery just off Shawnee Mission Parkway, but Chief Barnes still wonders about the graves of indigenous children who attended the school, and if the site's current displays tell the true story of what those children experienced.
These stories and questions prompted my office and the office of Mayor Hepperly to begin a dialogue about working together to recover the lost history of our children here at the Shawnee Mission Indian Boarding School.
We were in the process of forming a partnership. He, by that statement, gave the impression that we had a partnership, and we did not yet.
Fairway Mayor Melanie Hepperly is proud of her city's management of the mission.
Thomas Johnson, he was an operator of the mission. He was a Methodist minister.
The city of Fairway operates it while the state of Kansas owns the exhibits and the land.
We are delighted with Mayor Hepperly's eager welcome to us and to have these conversations.
But since that day 2 years ago, the relationship between the Shawnee Tribe, the state, and the city has deteriorated over who should ultimately control the search for unmarked graves.
We have welcomed doing the search for graves, and that was shut down by the chief.
I wonder if they're just trying to get us out of the way, get this thing, try to rearview mirror this thing, and not talk about it anymore.
Barnes maintains his tribe needs answers to find out what happened to the children.
What will happen if we find bodies when we search? What will happen? I have to trust people that I currently have no trust in.
Do you feel like there's any children that are buried here on the 12 acres that remain?
I don't know. I don't know. How can I feel if they are buried here? If we were to find out that they are, they would be honored. And I've told the chief that.
Next on Chronicle, the growing divide between the city, state, and the Shawnee Tribe.
Those adversities that our people suffered, it's our task to reverse that.
The search for answers about the fate of the children from the Shawnee Manual Labor Boarding School leads to the school Chief Barnes once attended.
He was pro-slavery, and it was a difficult period of time.
The stories he's telling about the Shawnee Indian Mission and the growing skepticism about his claims.
It has been a challenge that I don't think any of us really saw coming.